I teach self-defense. You can call it what you will, but I harbor no particular affection for any one style or preference of any master's methodology over anyone else's. This particular slide was chosen for precisely the over-the-top, cheesy, mystical, martial arts commercialized nonsense that's so prevalent in the world today. See, when I first graduated high school in Buffalo, New York, I moved out to Las Cruces, New Mexico, as much to get away from my family and the city I grew up in, as much to see the world like anybody else would. However, when I was in New Mexico, I happened to meet a man named Jack. This guy was from the East Coast, just like me, and as it turns out, he was an incredibly gifted martial artist that learned under a lot of people. Now, this guy, he saw me, and I have a background in Taekwondo, I have a background in Aikido and Capoeira and Muay Thai, just to name a few styles. He took me and he showed me the true meaning of what it means to not only be a martial artist, but be a fighter in general. He showed me how to rise above all these different styles and all the limitations they impose based on their credo or technique or whatever you want to call it. When he taught me how to, I guess, evolve from the tournament fighter that I was, he opened my eyes to just how weak and frail certain concepts that are commonly accepted as martial arts can be. He taught me how to utilize concepts instead of techniques, how to transition what would be a rather limited movement or principle into something that could be molded into many different things. And that's what I teach my students. I've taught martial arts for over 12 years now, and never once has a student come to me and told me that something I taught them didn't work or got them hurt. My number one goal is to train my students to a point where they don't need to think to fight. The way I teach principle. And by principles, I don't mean a method of living or a code of conduct. I mean blending techniques and blending fighting styles to fit the situation, and then training your body to respond to these situations instead of having to recall difficult concepts or one steps or certain combinations or posing your body into odd animal forms. Take this slide, for example. This is classic Muay Thai. This is straight out of Thailand. These movements that comprise Muay Thai are set in elbows, headbutts, knees, shins, all the main guns of the body. They don't break, they're tight, they're hard, they're fast, and they're made to just make the impact. And it's not a punch to the face, it's not a kick to the groin. They're just wide ranging concepts that are changed and evolved during the confrontation. Another opposite end of the spectrum is this Tai Chi. Tai Chi, while it can be used for combat, is more often used and more widely accepted as a form of meditation and relaxation. These movements and clusters of techniques are put together to stretch the body and work muscles that typically don't get used very often or to their fullest extent. Yoga is another derivative of, not necessarily a derivative of Tai Chi, but another example of an internal uh, technique set that can be used to promote good health, good posture, longer life, stress relief. All these things are put together to help ease the body and the mind. And getting back to my martial arts and the way that I instruct, all of these things play a prevalent role because your mindset is so important in everyday life, not just in fighting. These slides, this is my daughter and me on the deck of my mother's house. She wanted to learn martial arts, and I told her she was too little, and she pestered me and pestered me and pestered me, not to fight, not because she wanted to be tough, but simply because she wanted to learn something new. And that's the key. I mean, not everybody is out to be a Bagua master like this or a particular savant of any specific style. A lot of people just want to learn something new and find a new way to exercise, as well as defend yourself. And the problem with a lot of classic schools is they're so rigid in their complexities and their ritual and their traditions that they sort of lose sight that not everyone is this avid martial artist that's gonna perform iron sand hand techniques and break bricks and everything. A lot of people just want to be able to walk to their car at night, and it's unfortunate, but sometimes sometimes you need to take that step where you have to learn to defend yourself. Simple palm heel techniques or wrist lock manipulations, or just how to move, just how to position your body, how your hips work, how your shoulders work, and someone to show you how to make them all move in unison. These things, all very important. And a classroom setting in general is usually the best way to learn. I mean, despite the commercialized tendencies that you see lately, it really comes down to learning to work with people and being friends and having fun and exercising. Those are the main points of martial arts, in my opinion. Wish I had more time. I'd love to do some personal instruction, but that's about it for me for now, so maybe in another session. Thanks.